Professor Petrov. How are you doing? I hope that you are doing really good. My name is Inigo Muñoz, and this is my midterm PowerPoint, my Auschwitz and Hiroshima's presentation. I hope you like it a lot. And here we go. Okay, first of all, I've done an index in which I put the things that I'm going to present today: introduction, themes of war and peace, impact on modern thought, spiritual and ethical lessons, and a conclusion. Let's go. Okay, first of all, introduction. We have this question: why these events matters in religious and ethical thought? Okay, in my opinion, this answer is easy, it's simple. I think that these events were horrible events, and I think that are the proof of the dark side of how can human beings be really bad. I think that these events show us how human beings can separate themselves from their personal values, and also showing us how we can do horrible things if we move away from religion values. I'm not trying to force religion in anybody. I'm just saying that religion values, most of religion values, have a lot of welfare and a lot of good and selves. For example, in Christianity we could say love the others as you love yourself, as a really good fact that even if you are atheist, or you are a believer, or you are Christian, or you are Muslim, I think that that is a fact that affects to all of us, and that it's really important for all of us to know values of religion, even if you are a believer or not. Well, with Auschwitz, we have the demonstration of how people can show their worst side just because of radicalism. And with Hiroshima, we have an ethical debate, and I think that this is the main question. Does the end justifies the means? It's a tough question. Okay, I also wanted to deep in this presentation. I want to let something clear. Human beings know how to distinguish between good and bad things, and when they do a bad thing, they need to justify it with something. I think that this is the key to know. Point number one, the Auschwitz thing, but because it doesn't have any justification, and also the Hiroshima thing, that for me is a bigger debate. Okay, let's start with the themes of war and peace. I think that, how these events challenge religious and moral perspectives. Okay, first of all, let's start with the Holocaust thing. I think that the reason why Nazis did what they did in Auschwitz is the World War I. After World War I, Germany was a disaster. There was a really high inflation. If I'm not wrong, I think that it was like a 20% of inflation, which is crazy. And also, people weren't happy with their politicians, and I mean, it was a total disaster. As a result of this, an ideology began to grow: anti-Semitism. Okay, what was anti-Semitism in the 1920s and 1930s in Germany? This is the explanation. This ideology defended that Jews were the reason of that bad situation that Germans were living, arguing that they were at control of the country. And introducing thoughts like this was a racial thing, saying that the Jews were the bad race. Well, we all know the race thing that Nazis fought in those times, and they say that Jews were the worst race. After the triumph of this ideology, this situation became even worse, and Jews began to be captured. And at the end of the World War II, in my opinion, to hide the things that Nazis were doing to Jews between the years 1943 and 1945, when I think that Hitler knew that he was going to lose the war, they started the Holocaust, which consisted on killing all the Jews as they could. Okay, my opinion is the cruelest thing in history, and the reason why German soldiers did this was, okay, let's pay attention here. This was that they weren't acting according to their own will. They were just following orders from the senior officials, from the Nazis' charges. I mean, from the people that was in charge of Germany at that moment, who are that those things were the best choice for their country's welfare, and this was enough to justify their bad actions. Again, as I said in the third slide, but we know that this is the first slide, the introduction slide, that sorry, I continue. That there was a need of justifying this. They knew that these things were really wrong. I mean, we all know that killing people is wrong, and killing 6 million of Jews is even more wrong, because you are not killing just a person, you are killing 6 million of people. It's crazy. Well, after to do this, everyone has a moral, better or wrong, but every human being has a moral, and I think that to break these morals, you need to justify yourself with something, because if not, you are going to have a personal stress and a personal preoccupation, which is even with killing 6 million people, which it could be really, really wrong. Okay, with Hiroshima, this debate for me is different, because this debate is really difficult. In favor of the Hiroshima thing, I would like to say that Americans knew Japanese philosophy about surrender. Japan people hates to surrender, and I think that they were not going to surrender in a lot of time. But on the other hand, I think that in most of occasions the end doesn't justify the means, as I said in the introduction slide. And I think that throwing 2 atomic bombs in 3 days wasn't the ideal end for that war, and for neither war. I mean, I think it's tough. But again, we can see that to do this terrible act, as I was saying, Americans needed a justification, and this justification proves that we know where are the limits. And I think that we all know that throwing 2 atomic bombs, it's not good. And if we want to cross these limits, we have to justify it with something, because for money, power, or whatever, I would like to deep here, is mental peace, and is religion the one that provides us this mental peace in a lot of cases. Excuse me, I continue. Okay, impact on modern thought. I've presented 2 questions here. The first question is, are we avoiding radical thoughts more than ever? Answering this, I would like to say that I think that knowing history has helped us to avoid things like this in future, and this remarks the importance of don't forgetting canonic events like this too. I think that history is one of the most important things that we have to know what things we should repeat and what things we shouldn't. And for example, I think that history, and in this case, I'm talking more of the Nazis thing. I think that knowing what Nazis did and everything has helped us a lot to stay away from radicalism, even if it's from the left side of the politician rank, I would say, or from the right side. This is the other question. Our view of seeing the world has changed. Okay, I think that yes, it has changed. I mean, I think that in 10 years before the world we were seeing was different from now, and I think that 10 years from today the world will be also different. I think that time changed a lot of things, and also these events has remarked a lot that every human being have the same importance, but maybe we have just changed this perspective in Occidental world, because okay, this is a good phrase, but have we finished with injustices and slavery, or we have just transported it from Europe and America to Africa and to the Middle East? Because a lot of people buy things from Sane, which is a company that exploits kids in Pakistan or in the Middle East. I don't know the countries are all, but we most of all know what Sane does every day with kids, and a lot of people still buying products from Sane. So I think that more than finish with slavery and with exploitation and with injustices, I think that we moved it from the Occidental world to other continents, to other countries, and this is really a debate and a thing that I think that we should pay a lot of attention in the present and in the future. Okay, after saying this, spiritual and ethical lessons. Okay, here I would like to say that I think that the few positive things that I can take from Hiroshima and Auschwitz are that we have realized that all human beings have the same importance, as I said in the previous slide. Well, we are all human beings. This is really important to remark. It doesn't matter our color, our things, or the things that we are defending. Also about Hiroshima, I think that we can remark the importance of beat pride, of beat capital sins. In this case, I think, for example, in the Japanese case, that war was really bad for them, but they wanted to continue that war just for pride, just for their pride philosophy of not surrendering. They prefer to die and to suicide before to surrender and continue with their lives. So yeah, I think that we should beat a lot of instincts, as we saw in the chapter homework number 5 with Hinduism, and I think that every human being should be more giving. Okay, we are near to the end of this project. As a conclusion, I've put these words: we all know the things that are right and the things that aren't. So, as Kant said, Immanuel Kant, German philosopher, let's start with reflecting on how we could build a better world for everyone, without injustices, by finding the common sense in all the countries, all the continents, all the territories, in all the world. I think that every human being, as Kant said, has the same logic and the same common sense, but we just have to deep in our thoughts to beat pride, to beat, as I said here, capital sins that, well, as I was saying, like for example pride, and let's start trying to avoid these things and to make a better world. We need to be less selfish, and we need to start thinking about others' good instead of just about our own benefit. And with this, well, this will be my presentation. The end, as I said at first, Professor Petrov, I hope that you like it a lot. And well, this is my presentation. Thank you.